Welcome to the After Party Hangover. I am your host, Mangria Fuel.
What is going on, my man?
Mangria, my man, what is shaking?
Not too much.
Hands. Wild card. Fly fast. Eat ass.
Keith Lee is my spirit animal.
It's going to be called Turban Warfare.
My list, you know what to do. See me in the comments. Prison style.
Andy keeps saying he wants to eat my ass. We'll grab a spoon, mate, and taste some class.
But Sam's just been hit with a spoonful of truth. Bitch.
Such a shit, pal.
Freaking Cloud9 for the whole week. Taking it away from me now.
Well, shit, man. I was going to start off by talking about the Steel Real After Party episode 105. Lars's egg roll. Forgive my voice. It's still at 90% right now, not 100. But I had to give it a hangover because it's been way too long. We heard what Zanca got for Christmas. StixAdam, what did you get for Christmas?
Bunch of clothes. The essentials, socks, underwear, shirts. That's about it.
That's pretty cool. I got a big fat goose egg, but it's fine. I get gifts throughout the year anyway. I'm a spoiled brat, just like Jake is. Which, by the way, happy birthday, Jake. Do you both have a special birthday message for the birthday boy?
Oh, I do. Jake, you're in your 30s now, I'm guessing. Time for you to go out on your own, find a place, find a girl, settle down, and you can ride this host of the year last year thing all the way up until January of next year, because I am the number one host. And happy birthday, douchebag.
How about you, Adam?
Well, I'm going to say happy birthday, Jake. Hope you have numerous White Claws. I hope you can put down the juice boxes. Hope you can leave the playgrounds. Hope you can go to at least to a Chuck E. Cheese. Have a nice little cheese pizza. Maybe play a little round of air hockey. And then go home and just maybe throw on some Sesame Street and enjoy the rest of your day.
Well, and leave the kids at the playground.
There you go, Jake. Yeah. Happy birthday from the Steel Real After Party. I'm glad you're here, Zanca. Adam, I know you are dating, right? You have a chick?
Yes, sir.
I am married, and very interesting subject you guys talked about over this past SRAP with women, sleeping with women. Is it considered cheating? What say you, Adam?
Well, I think that it kind of depends. I mean, I guess if the other person, like if the significant other / boyfriend is down with it, then yeah, I guess there's no problem with it. I mean, I guess it depends on the other person's views. I mean, I guess.
It depends how close to the action you are, right?
In my opinion, if they invite you in, it's not cheating. Maybe where Jake was coming from was maybe psychological. Maybe the psychological cheating what meant more to him. But as Zanca said, bumping beavers, it ain't no thing. I'd allow it if I could watch.
That's what I'm saying. If nothing else, you get a quick fucking digit smell and you're good.
Zanca is the people's host. He is the Hall of Fame host, in my opinion, and he does a lot extra for us, including watching the Mitch Bennett Comes to Town porn. Adam Hagen, did you watch Mitch Bennett Come to Town, or whatever that dude's name was?
No, I didn't. I just took Zanca's word for it. He's always the one that's down to take a bullet for the SRAP Army, so I take his word.
He took a gay bullet this time.
He took a big gamble.
I did not win. I left the table. I lost all my chips. I'm done.
Have you been able... The world wants to know, Zanca, have you been able to whack it since the podcast?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did it on the way home from the podcast. I had a lot of built, stuff, so I had to get it out there. Toss the rope out the window, good to go.
Well,
My question is, did your girlfriend, was she there, and did she happen to see you watch it? And if so, what was the look on her face?
No, she was not there. I did it in the bathroom on the shitter, so I actually even had my digit out. So it probably could have happened if I was into it, but it's just not my thing.
Jesus. I did not.
Like candle, I'm kind of romantic.
I did not watch Mitch Bennett come to town because maybe personally I'm afraid that if I watch gay porn, I'll start to get into it and it'll just start a snowball effect. So I'm gonna avoid Mitch Bennett getting head and stick to regular freaky ass X video porn.
Come on, what are you guys doing with your lives? You gotta live a little.
Hey, there's some rabbit holes that you just do not go down.
I've seen that porn.
How do you know? You never know what's down the hole, man.
My imagination can just ruin it for me enough as it is.
Well, Zank, Chris, and I are very familiar with shitty movies. That's why I handpicked The Ginger Dead Man and Jack Frost. We've heard Zanka is not familiar with these crappy movies. Adam, are you familiar with The Ginger Dead Man?
No, but I have watched my fair share of crappy horror movies. I watched one last night called Blood Bags, and let me tell you something. I wish I had my $4 back and my hour and a half of my life back.
Jesus. Well, the only way to kill Jack Frost, the evil Jack Frost, is with banana juice. So let me just tell you right now not to watch that movie because it will cause brain damage.
You kind of just sold me on it.
I might actually kind of look that up this weekend.
Yeah, wait a minute.
I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead to the NXT review because I'm very curious on Zanka's thoughts on these past two shows. I'll go ahead and play the role of Jake today, not molesting kids, but breaking down the action. NXT starts with the talented Mrs. Rhea Ripley, the brand new NXT Women's Championship, cutting a promo in the ring when she gets interrupted by the bootylicious Toni Storm. She comes out there and reminds Rhea that she has beaten her not once, but twice. While she's talking...
I didn't hear a word they said, and because I'm a pig, I get it, but Toni Storm's ass is out of this world.
It has a tractor beam on it. I tell you what, I was literally the same. I was just sitting there in awe, and I didn't know if I needed to sit there and keep watching or go in the bathroom and, rub one out.
Match it up. I got you.
I got you. I'm not sure why I didn't like Toni Storm, because I guess the last time she fought Kaylee Ray at a UK takeover, she was being a whiny little bitch, like crying in the ring while Kaylee Ray beat the shit out of her. So that was a major turnoff. But when she showed up on NXT with that big fat ass, I became an instant Toni Storm fan.
You know in movies when they drop a flash grenade and all you hear is... That's what happened when Toni Storm's ass came out of the curtain.
Yes, I completely agree. And then, while Toni Storm was cutting her promo, straight out of the UK mart, the fugly Miss Mountain Dew trailer park, Kaylee Ray comes out, interrupts, with her stating her case that nobody's taken the belt from her. But then we get another interruption as the mini psychotic Asian Io Shirai comes out, spouting out her, I'm guessing, Zanka's favorite promo, with the whole audience shouting what, which I can't believe they still do that to Asian people when they try to cut promos. It's disrespectful. But then she just looks at the title and says, "Mine!" And then she pops the crowd out of that. Then we get Bianca Belair coming out saying she's better than everybody, whipping her hair around. And after that, the final interruption, Tenacious C, Candice LeRae, comes out, standing next to her big sister, Rhea Ripley, wanting to get in on this action. Rhea Ripley says, "Screw this, let's just fight." They all start tangling. We come back from commercial break. It has been turned into a 6-women tag match. Did you guys pick any highlights out of this match? Like, what was your favorite part of this match? Were you just tuned in on Toni Storm's ass, or did you pay attention to any of the action?
You can take it, Stix.
I thought there was a few good spots. Otherwise, I'm a big Toni Storm fan, but I also like Io Shirai. I noticed that she really, when they were tagging, it was just mostly, she didn't get in all that much. It was Bianca and freaking Kaylee Ray. And finally, when they got Io in, she went to go for her freaking moonsault, and then the freaking person moved, and it's like, what the hell?
Well, let's bypass all of this. You know what we're all thinking. Our favorite part of this entire match was when Toni Storm sat on Kaylee Ray's face during a pin attempt. How much money would you pay to get a booty storm like that, Zanca?
All of it. All my money, dude. I have a child. I would have no problem putting him up for an auction, whatever it takes.
Your son is collateral for Toni Storm's ass?
Dude, my son's collateral for a lot of things in my life, so yes. I had him for some reason. I just don't know what yet. And if I trade him for like a booty storm, I'm in.
Well, I don't want to put him on the spot, but me and Julius Caesar actually broke down this game tape in a chat of our own. It was pretty funny because I thought it was Bianca Belair she sat on, but he pointed out it was Kaylee Ray. That was the only time I wanted to be a trailer park trash person from the UK, was when Toni Storm spread them cheeks and gave her a little booty hole kiss on her cheek.
The only thing missing was the tongue tornado.
Well, Bianca Belair eventually pisses off. Bianca Belair eventually pisses off Io Shirai, causing Io Shirai to walk out on her team. Rhea Ripley hits the pump handle drop to Belair for the win. I thought this was decent action to kick off the NXT. These women can all go. It was basically just, sussing out who's going to be Rhea's next challenger, and plus we got the TakeOver Blackpool Sunday. Are either of you going to be checking this one out tomorrow?
Yes, I will be. But I also want to say, the one thing this match did do was make me want to see Rhea in singles matches versus basically all of these people. Her versus Candice, her versus Toni, her versus Io. Those matches would be fucking off the charts. So I'm kind of hoping she gets a nice lengthy run with this title, and she gets to run through all those matches, because those matches are probably going to be unstoppable. Yes, I'm watching Blackpool, though.
Well, good idea, bad idea. Is it a good idea for either woman to become double champion, meaning Toni Storm becoming UK NXT champion plus women's NXT champion, or Rhea doing the same? Do you think that's a good idea or a bad idea?
I think it would be a good idea for one reason only. You're going to get that title on NXT, which is, you're going to see a lot more for American fans anyway. And that'll bring more to the UK fans, and you know what I'm saying, whenever they're doing those pay-per-views. So it could be a good idea, but I like them both having their own titles.
Do you watch NXT UK at all, Adam?
I do every once in a while. I'm going to end up catching Blackpool probably sometime tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night. And I totally agree with Zanca on that one. I think UK kind of needs a little bit of a push, and having a double champ would definitely bring over some more eyes and maybe give them the push that they need, because I think they got some pretty good wrestlers, especially in like Gallus, and their tag team division is pretty decent over there too. They got some single stars that, if they got some eyes on, could probably make a really good transition over to NXT whenever they needed to bring them over.
Well,
their roster's as stacked as NXT, just regular NXT. It's crazy if you look at them. Yeah.
Well, after this, we get the first of two Tommaso Ciampa video packages, which is very weird because they were both similar, because we get a Tommaso Ciampa video package right now, and then later on during the night, we get like almost the exact video package, which is kind of strange. But anyway, after that, we get a Keith Lee promo. He cuts his best promos backstage when he doesn't have the audience shouting at him every time he talks. So it was a pretty interesting promo. Keith Lee getting hyped for the North American Championship matchup later on that night.
Whenever I see Keith Lee, and I don't know why this is, but I just picture that is exactly how Julius Caesar is. That's all I can picture. It's just him having a good time. Everyone's into him.
It's every time he goes to the bar, he just cuts a promo on the whole bar and just starts chugging down them beers.
Oh my god, his videos are hilarious.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
I don't do anything on weekends. I live for Julius Caesar's freaking Instagram stories, because they are what I want to do on my weekends.
He's living the life, man.
Sorry to interrupt you, fellas, but it looks like we have a fourth member to the After Party Hangover. Ladies and gentlemen, the Great Bretsky 99.
Well, I joined at a good time, I see.
We have Zanca and StixAdam with us. Brett, how is your day going?
Hey, Brett, Jake let you out of the chains? What? Jake let you out of the chains for his birthday?
Yeah, I'm getting an hour of free time.
We'll make it use.
Going up against that gimp mask.
Oh, God. Yeah, I don't know. I'm happy I can talk. I finally breathe, get some fresh air. It's great.
You're talking well out of that gag ball, dude.
Hey, Bretsky.
You learn.
Bretsky, last month you turned 18 and you wasted no time in hopping on the porn and you sent us a thumbnail from the Mitch Bennett porno. So my question to you, my friend, have you seen Mitch Bennett come to town?
Oh, unfortunately I have. But it's so funny though.
You know how dudes who come back from war have that look in their eye? That's what me and Bretsky probably have right now.
Post-traumatic war syndrome.
You know he did a second video?
What?
I didn't watch it because I'm already traumatized enough, but when I pulled it up to do the bit for the upload of whatever Hangover it was for the resolutions, I saw below it recommendations, next video, Mitch Bennett solo in the shower.
Oh my God, dude. Zanca, get on that shit.
Does he talk?
I don't know. I hope so.
God damn it. I know what I'm doing later.
Shower? Dank in the shower with Mitch in the shower?
Oh my God, I'll take a video if that happens.
Please keep us updated, Zanca, and break down the game film, please.
Do I have to? I already did one.
Hey, you want to be the number one host this year, don't you?
Not that bad.
Well, Bretsky, we're breaking down NXT. Did you happen to catch it this week?
I couldn't catch it. I couldn't catch the actual show, but I caught the whatever WWE Top 10 that they post, so I got a gist of it.
Well, right now we're up to the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Tournament. Round 1 match, the Forgotten Sons versus Imperium's Eichner and Barthel. Which was unique about this match, I noticed it's two heel teams fighting, right? Neither one of them are face.
Yeah, I think they're both heel.
Yeah, last night checked, they were both heels.
Well, it was a very hard-hitting match, very impressive. And I noticed that Eichner had a broken nose, and he was wearing that weird, like, Batman and Robin face protector mask. Eventually, that mask fell off, creating a bullseye, and he took some damage to that broken nose, if it is broken or kayfabe broken. But my favorite move of the entire match was from Imperium. Barthel tossed a Forgotten Son to Eichner, who caught his ass and turned it into a vertical suplex. That strength is fucking amazing. You forget how good of a team, you forget how good of a tag team specialist Blake is, because, you know, Blake and Murphy, they were a pretty big deal back in the day, but he was on fire in this match. What do you guys think?
You said Batman and Robin, so all I've been thinking about is who in WWE would make a good Batman. And all I could think of was, like, The Miz would make a great Bruce Wayne and a Batman, I think. What do you guys got?
I go with that.
Yeah.
And Paul Heyman obviously is the Penguin.
We play Harley Quinn.
Oh, you know that's Liv. It's Liv.
Yeah, it kind of has to be Bliss.
Yeah. Dude, they totally fucked
I think it'd be between Bliss and Liv.
You know Shorty G's Robin.
Yes. Bitch ass Robin.
Well, eventually...
Tag team matchup was legit. Sorry, I'm doing the thing I always do where I go off topic.
Well, eventually Imperium wins the match with a European uppercut and powerbomb combo. It doesn't really look that devastating, but they had to end the match somehow. We move on to a backstage interview with Matt Riddle, and then Matt Riddle gives us the origin story of the Broserweights. Do you guys think that they could take this whole tournament?
That's who I'd put my money on for sure. They're two top guys, and I feel like Triple H he likes putting over the guys that he thinks the crowds are behind anyway, and I think that's going to be it. It's got to be it.
Yeah, I mean, look at Ricochet and Aleister Black last year. I mean, that's not a real tag team. They won it, so I can't see these guys not winning it, or at least not going far.
Who won with Finn? Didn't Finn win one with, like, Joe or something?
Finn won the first ever Dusty Cup with Samoa Joe.
Yeah, Yeah, so that's kind of that's usually the route they go. So that would be my pick if I had to put money on it.
They're at worst going to make it to the finals.
Right. Yeah.
Do they just look at the list of NXT merchandise top sellers and they're like, oh, we'll put those two together? Because it seems like random tag teams win the Dusty Cup a lot more often than actual tag teams.
The Dusty Cup sounds like what I throw my jizz into. That's maybe a new word for vagina. The old Dusty Cup.
The old Dusty Cup. I don't know if you guys caught this or not, but right after this, they had a commercial break and they stuck an AEW commercial in. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Did they actually?
Yeah, they did. It was like a slap in the face to NXT.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I watched the rerun on Network on Thursday night.
Well, after this, we get a Austin Theory match. Austin Theory versus Joaquin Wilde. I talked to Andy with an I. Andy is a big fan of Joaquin Wilde because I don't know if you caught this or not, but Joaquin Wilde's entrance has the reggae horn, which is a big part of Andy's podcast. His opening theme has lots of reggae horn. Joaquin Wilde with that weird-ass helmet coming down to the ring, but on the opposite side, Austin Theory's entrance is pretty fucking sweet. With that great background, he's got a great theme.
He's got the talent to back it up, too. That's the big thing about NXT. If you have a cool entrance and you can go in the ring, you're going to go far. Like Aleister Black, once they hit him with that roller coaster thing or whatever, that creaking noise, he was in.
This is a great...
He came from Evolve, didn't he?
Yeah, he came from Evolve.
I thought he was pretty good over there. I saw him on that one show that they did when they had the network, when they did it with the network, and he was pretty good on that show.
Yeah, he's good. He can go.
Who did he drop the title to? Because he was the Evolve champion.
I don't remember. I almost said PCO, but that's Ring of Honor. I watch way too much wrestling. Wrestling and Gabe Horn is way too much of my life right now.
What's this? That's the good life.
No, not. And I gotta sit next to Jake for 2 hours. I'm telling you guys, feel bad for me, please.
Your schedule is fully booked.
All I hear is 3 different things of gay porn. I don't know what you're thinking of.
That's pretty much it.
Well, one's gay out porn, so.
Well, this was a great fresh matchup. The future of NXT is looking great. Austin Theory ends the match with a jumping TKO that would even make Cynic proud. I thought it was a great quick match. We move on from this with Undisputed Era warming up backstage. We come back from commercial and Damian Priest is backstage with some whores cutting a promo about the upcoming North American Championship match. As soon as I saw Damian with them whores, I was thinking of what Zanca was talking about Frank on Always Sunny.
That's fucked up because when you said whores, that's the first thing I thought of.
How long is it going to be before we get the Ho Train 2.0?
Probably 2 weeks. I'll give it 2 weeks.
Once they see the ratings starting to slip, they're going to bring back all the hoes.
You know what's funny? I watched both shows, and NXT, in my opinion, was better, but they got fucking wrecked in the ratings, so I don't know what's going to happen.
I couldn't believe it. It was like 900,000 to 700,000.
Well, I thought they were going to lose just because they did the award show the week before, and you never come back strong after those things, so... And AEW actually had a really good show 2 weeks ago. This show sucked, if you ask me.
Well, I guess AEW might have interested the fans because of the cliffhanger of the whole, Moxley joining the fucking Inner Circle. So maybe that's what got the fans back. Whereas, like you said, Zanca, they're coming off of an awards show, so they didn't really have anything. Like the fans weren't anticipating anything for this week, I guess.
Plus, AEW did have a good show last week. Like, that's why I tuned in. I wanted to see how they're going to do it, move everything forward, and it was just, it was all right.
Well,
they took advantage of it having an award show.
Yeah.
Well, up next.
But if they didn't, you get Twitter bitches being like, oh, they have to work on Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
It's a lose-lose for them, really.
Well, up next, we get another Dusty Cup Round 1 match with another pair of heel teams fighting each other. We get the Undisputed Era versus Bellum. And I'm not too familiar with Bellum, But boy, that didn't stop Mauro and Nigel from making all those coffee jokes. I don't know if you caught that, Zanca, but they were dropping some corny-ass, caffeinated coffee jokes throughout the match.
Yeah. I was here for it. I liked it. It was terrible. I'll give you that.
What was cool is these teams are both heels, and they were pretty equal the entire match. They worked pretty well together for being two heel teams, but I'd say they were equal until Adam Cole interfered and gave the edge to the Undisputed Era. How did you guys feel about this matchup?
I'm kind of intrigued to see how they. I think it was from what I've seen, like with the highlights, it looked like it was a solid contest. But like I'm interested to see how they go with Undisputed Era from here, because they've been obviously they've been like this unstoppable, like taking over the entire Team NXT thing, and it's gonna have to stop eventually. But you know, it's interesting to see how long they can go with an equal, like something like this, where it's like a really good equal back and forth match. Then Adam Cole comes out to interfere. Roderick Strong comes out to interfere. I'm interested to see how long that takes before it gets stale or it doesn't work anymore.
I see that's how they're going to get out of the tournament, is Roderick Strong or Cole they're going to come out and, you know, it'll be the old he hits his own partner by accident thing, and then they'll get a quick roll up to get out of there. Otherwise, you got to keep them strong, and I don't see them winning the whole thing, because like you said, they win everything in NXT. So
2019 was the year of the Undisputed Era. They did everything there is to do in NXT. I believe 2020 is the year the Undisputed Era invades Raw and or SmackDown and starts doing new shit, because if they remain in NXT much longer, I believe it'll start getting old.
Yeah, I'm afraid if they do end up invading, is Vince and then Heyman gonna let them get strong for like one episode, then just have them get demolished for months on months. I'm more interested to see, like, are they going to have them all like lose their titles on one takeover, or will it be like a slow, like one member loses a title leading up to like Cole losing his title at a takeover, or does Cole end up keeping his title and he's the only one that has a title in the group?
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
I wouldn't doubt that if the WrestleMania takeover, they all lose their belts, and then the next night on Raw, they just show up and start fucking shit up.
I think what we're gonna need is Velveteen Dream back, and I think if he gets a big enough pop, which he obviously will, because they need another star like Cole to take that title right now. And it could be Finn, but I feel like NXT is gonna keep it fresh. I think Velveteen might get a shot finally when he comes back from injury. That would be the perfect guy to take it off of Cole after a lengthy Cole run. You give Velveteen Dream the shot.
Or if you really kind of want them to fuck it all up, you have them all enter the freaking Royal Rumble, then they each turn on each other when it comes time to start doing eliminations.
Or they all enter and Lars just comes out and tosses them all out because they're all 120 pounds.
If Lars comes out at the Royal Rumble and the crowd starts chanting Mitch, 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 what do you think he's going to do?
He's just going to start sucking dudes off. You got to steer into that kind of gimmick, man. That's money on the table.
There's going to be ropes and slinging everywhere in the crowd.
Well, the match eventually ends when, like I said, Adam Cole interferes, delivers a kick to the head of Wolfgang. O'Reilly and Fish hit the high-low for the win. They move on in the Dusty Cup. Then we get Johnny Gargano heading to the ring to cut a promo. Very interesting that the crowd was booing him most of his promo. I wasn't aware that the crowd turned on Johnny Gargano, maybe just because they love Finn more, but the crowd is pretty divided.
Could that be that Gargano's getting maybe a little stale on him with the good guy type of thing? Like, he had that pretty good little heel run when he was with Ciampa, but is he kind of just more seen as like a baby face instead of like a tweener?
I'd have to say you're right. The crowd is getting tired of Gargano. He is pretty much Johnny NXT, but he's been there so damn long that any new flavor of the month, which I can't believe I'm saying that about Finn, but anybody new to come in, they're going to be more excited to see over Gargano. Gargano puts on matches of the year, but Finn as a face or a heel will always get the bigger pop. Johnny Gargano's star is fading. In my opinion.
I think what's helped Finn out is that he made that heel turn and he's made it successfully.
Well, speaking of Finn comes out, basically calls him Johnny Promo, and announces their match for NXT TakeOver Portland, which, my God, I wish I could go to because it's not that far away from me, but it's already shaping up to be a great card.
That match is going to be stellar, too.
That could be the match of the night.
It very well could be, yeah.
After this, we get Cameron Grimes backstage screaming to himself about the North American Championship match later. Then we get an announcement. Kushida's partner for the Dusty Cup Tag Tournament is none other than Alex Shelley, who I have no idea who the fuck that is. Zanca, can you fill us in?
Yeah, you should, because he's fucking sweet, man. You got to go back and watch him and Saban. They used to be Machine Gun Kelly. I'm Machine Gun Kelly. Motor City Machine Guns. They're fucking badass. Alex Shelley's sick. He spent a long time in Ring of Honor, too. He was on TNA for a while. He's really good. I'm pumped that and these guys used to tag as well, so this is going to be epic.
Motor City Machine Guns were freaking phenomenal back in the day. They were awesome.
Well, hopefully, because I'm sorry to say, I'm still not sold on Kushida. So hopefully the Time Splitters will change my mind. After this, we get Mia Yim versus Kaden Carter. I'm pretty sure this is not going to be on the Hulu cut. Pretty quick matchup. Mia Yim wins after Kaden comes off the top rope and Mia hits a one-knee codebreaker. And then out of nowhere, we get Chelsea Green, her sexy ass, coming into the ring, attacks them both. And then some fucking weird Harvey Whippleman-looking dude on the ramp saying, "This is the Robert Stone brand." Does anybody know who the fuck Robert Stone is?
No.
Well, hopefully this leads to something interesting because other than Chelsea Green being fucking sexy, I did not give a fuck about this. We get a Dominic Dijakovic. I had to space it out so I could say it correctly. Promo. Promo backstage again, hyping up the main event. This is when we get that similar Tommaso Ciampa promo talking about beating Adam Cole. He wants his life back. He wants Goldie back. We all get it. I'm guessing that's taking place at NXT TakeOver Toronto as well. Now the main event. The number one contender match for the North American Championship. It's a fatal four-way. Damian Priest versus Dijakovic versus Grimes versus Keith Lee. Who was the most impressive to you guys in this match? Because I got a lot to say.
Mangria, you were the most impressive to me because now I can say Dijakovic.
I spaced it out pretty good.
Yeah, and you said times that I'm in, I got it. My name's a terror for me.
It is. It's horrible.
I believe Keith Lee was the standout in this match. I know he won, but each person did something very impressive this match. This was Keith Lee's coming out party. I think he is the next big thing.
Mitch had his last week.
And this match proved it. Keith Lee is the fucking man. Did you notice anything special about any of the other competitors, Adam?
I thought they all did. They were all able to hit good spots. It made them all look strong, and I totally agree with Keith Lee winning. And if anybody's going to take a title from a member of the Undisputed Era, it should be Keith Lee, because this star has just been rising since freaking Survivor Series, and he needs to have a title on him.
This hangover would be 2 hours long if I called out every spot, but let me just say the exchange between Keith and Dominic was priceless. They know each other so well, they blocked every move, then they gave that look to each other like, yeah, you the man.
I thought those two worked. Spirit Bomb was awesome too.
Those two worked so great together.
My favorite move of the match was when Dominic threw Damian Priest at Keith Lee. Keith Lee caught that gangly Razor Ramon looking fuck and then used him as a weapon against the other two, and then eventually powerbombed him on Priest. It was incredible. The Keith Lee's strength. Priest, he flips out of the ring onto all three opponents to the outside. Keith Lee, from the second rope, lifted a standing Damian Priest off the apron to hit a suplex. Cameron Grimes impressed as well with his kicks and his strength. Priest does a Dragon Rana to Cameron Grimes. Keith Lee catches Grimes again with another impressive show of strength. He had him in a powerbomb position, but Dominic grabbed Grimes from Keith, hits the knee to the face. Keith Lee pounces Dominic out of the ring. Priest hits the crossroads on the Keith Lee. Lee double choke slams Dominic, and Priest ain't nothing but a Lee thing, baby. Cameron Grimes then somehow nails the collision course on Lee. For a 2 count, he moonsaults off the top rope to the outside onto Damian Priest, double stomps Dominic to the apron. Keith Lee hits the Spirit Bomb to Cameron Grimes for the win. Keith Lee is the number 1 contender for Roderick Strong's North American Championship that will be decided in 2 weeks. What a hell of an NXT. What was your favorite part of NXT for you guys?
Tony Storm's ass.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, Tony Storm's ass.
But everything you just said as well. That match, if that was on like a WrestleMania, you'd be like, that was a good fucking match.
I was glad they had that match as the main event and didn't have that as the opener, because if they would have switched that in the 6-woman tag match, that would have been a huge disappointment.
Yes. Yeah, because they always go fire first match, too.
Yeah.
AEW kicks off with JR introducing Dave Brown on commentary. Does anyone know who the fuck that is?
Nope. Exactly.
They basically talked over him the entire match. I think he said a couple lines throughout this opener. It was Hangman Page and Kenny Omega versus Private Party, a.k.a. the Street Profits. Kenny Omega had a bunch of weird circle bruises all over his right shoulder. I don't know if you guys noticed that. What the fuck was that about? Did some alien rape him or something?
That could be that suction cup therapy shit.
Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of those guys do that cupping stuff.
Well, what? Can you explain that? Well, what the hell is that?
They put a glass cup on your back and then light it on fire, and it sucks your like skin up, so it's supposed to like tear all like the muscle so it can rebuild, and it's supposed to help you out. I've never done it though.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Swimmers all the time get it done.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of athletes start doing that. I just figured it was some kind of stupid snake oil bullshit.
It might be, yeah. I don't know. It looks fucking freaky though.
Yeah, it does.
Damn, I guess I learned something new every day. Thank you for that. Omega and Page, they get into a chopping contest with Cassidy, the guy who shrieks every time he gets hit, which is always comical. Mark Quinn, he's such a star, man. He was flying all over the place during this match, lighting people up. There was flatliners, Spanish flies, Snapdragon suplexes. It was an incredible match. Hangman, he almost nails the buckshot to Omega. Then Quinn shoves Hangman into Omega, causing another little misunderstanding there. Omega accidentally tosses Quinn's foot into Page's head. Omega ultimately hits the one-winged angel for the win. Do you guys believe that a match between Hangman Page and Kenny Omega will be good? Or do you think Hangman is going to lose again?
Well, I think the match is going to be good, and both those guys need it. I know Kenny Omega keeps talking about how he's taking a step back, which in my opinion isn't the right move because he got Joey Janela over in their match, and that was on AEW Dark. So if he wants to get talent over, he's going to get in the ring with him. Hangman is a good talent, but I don't see him being the face of your company. So I don't know. I think the match is going to be fine, but I would actually book Kenny to get the win.
There were a lot of rumors.
I think obviously he's going heel, so maybe he will pick it up.
Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, I totally agree with Zanca. I mean, I think they missed the train on having Kenny be the face of the company. I mean, I understand with having Jericho be your champion because he's a name, but you know, if you want to get a guy who's a hard worker and does put stars over like Kenny, you should have him. You shouldn't have had him start losing matches and then now relegate him to be in a tag team. I think it's going to be a really good match because Kenny can carry a good match, but I think also Page is starting to step up with his matches, and all in all, I think it's going to be a really good match.
There have been a lot of rumors flying around that certain people might become the leader of the Dark Order. Matt Hardy being one of them. Hangman Page possibly. Luke Harper. Do you think going to the Dark Order would be a great decision for Hangman, or do you think he should remain on his own, or do you think he should join the Inner Circle, Zanca?
I think he should remain on his own and just be a heel. I think that would be his best move. The Dark Order sucks. I mean, that would be perfect for Matt Hardy because he takes shit and makes it good. But other than that, I'd leave Hangman on his own. They're kind of corny. Like, I know they're trying to come off as like a weird mystical thing that, like, I don't know, basically something Mitch would have in his basement, but it's not getting over for me at all. So that would be perfect for Matt Hardy if he signs with them. Just doing the whole broken gimmick, but, you know, differently. Or a Luke Harper. A Luke Harper owning his own stable would be kind of cool. I don't see Hangman doing that role, but that's probably, I don't know. They might go there.
Plus, Luke Harper looks like a cult leader with that big old fucking beard and his psychotic eyes.
He'd be unstoppable with his size if they book him correctly. With all that backing.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Well, after this, we get another progression in this really weird Pac Omega storyline where we get a backstage vid of Pac raping Nakazawa, saying that he still wants his rubber match, and Hangman tells Omega, go, man, go help your friend. He wants his rubber match. Nakazawa's the Asian dude who puts oil all over his body. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I don't really care about that guy, but the story between Pac and Omega, I definitely wouldn't mind seeing a rubber match between those guys.
For sure.
During the commercial...
All right, I gotta go be a parent. But you guys, take it home, have fun, to steal a line, or, you know, to do what my ancestors did to the blacks. I'm gonna steal a line from Julius and say, see me in the comments, boys.
Alrighty, thank you, Zanca. Thank you for joining.
Hell yeah,
Thanks.
take it.
Well, during the commercial break, we get a Adam Page walking through the audience, drinking beer with everybody. I thought that was kind of funny, but I guess a really cool, unique experience for the fans there. Then we get, from commercial break, we get Brandy Rhodes joining commentary. Holy shit, was she annoying during that entire match on commentary. What did you think of her commentary skills?
Yeah, she's super annoying. I find that when she talks, I want to gouge my eardrums out compared to just looking at her. I mean, she's good at being a manager, but definitely don't give her a mic.
I gotta say, she's a lot prettier when her mouth is closed.
For sure.
We get a Chris Statlander versus Riho for the AEW Women's Championship matchup. And Hikaru Shida and Britt Baker sitting in the audience with a plate of shit under their nose looking expression as they watch in jealousy as Chris Statlander takes on this, basically a child. I hate Riho, man. I don't like her at all. She's not believable to me as a champion. By the way, Chris Statlander's from the Andromeda Galaxy, Adam. Are you familiar with this galaxy, and are you going to visit it?
No, I have a feeling that if I showed up there, I might get robbed.
Brandy's annoying. Brandy kept calling Excalibur Exhibit for some stupid reason. But eventually, Awesome Kong and Bald Lady come down to interrupt this matchup. I guess the Bald Lady's name is Mel or Mal. She attacks Riho. Chris attacks the Bald Lady and Awesome Kong. Brandy then leaves commentary, walks down the ramp, and gets into a face-to-face with Chris Statlander. If you notice, Chris actually started speaking English instead of her stupid alien booping on people's noses or whatever she used to do. And then, from under the ring, out of a horror movie, comes this bald-looking crazy fuck, Luther, who I'm also not familiar with, distracting Chris Statlander while Kong attacks her. Riho eventually jumps on Luther like that hurt at all, but Luther sold it. Riho gets the win after Kong trips Chris before Chris could hit that impact tombstone pile driver she does. Fucking Kong just trips her. Riho gets the win and an awkward 69 pin, if you noticed. Mel eventually attacks. They gang up on all of them in the ring. but Hikaru Shida helps out, and so does Big Swole. Britt Baker is sitting in the crowd still, like, is this over yet? And then Sunny Kiss as well comes out. I'm not sure if they would approve a guy going in there and beating up all these chicks, but I guess he looks more like a woman enough to come out and help the other women. What did you think of this segment, and who do you think came out shining?
I thought there was just a lot going on. I thought that Luther guy looked like freaking the dude from Saw, the guy who was like the one like passing all those strings, the old guy. He looked like him, but he was like, she shaved his head. I think that what it came out was that they might be having Britt Baker do a heel turn, just the way she was just sitting there with that resting bitch face.
Yes, they are foreshadowing it. Because you remember last week she went off on Riho, telling her she's just showing up to fight and then leave. She's not around all the time like she is.
Yeah, that's the big thing I took out of it, is that we're probably going to get a Britt Baker heel turn, and that'll be interesting to see how far they go and how long they're going to keep the title on Riho. I mean, there's no traction with her. I mean, the fans aren't getting in her and onto her, and she shouldn't be champ. I mean, you can tell that with her being a current tag, like intergender tag person with Kenny, that's probably when she's champ. But yeah, they got to get the belt off her.
Well, after this, we get a super bad Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford video package. I am not familiar with either of these people, but being unfamiliar with someone is a good and a bad thing, because anything they do from now on will be surprising to me. Hopefully, they'll have an interesting storyline going on with Joey Janela, because apparently Penelope Ford used to bang him, but during this video package, she hit him in the junk. So I'm guessing that's who Kip Sabian is going to be taking on next.
Well, I think she used to be his manager, I believe. Because I think when AEW started doing stuff, when he showed up, she was with him. And I know Kip Sabian and her are dating in real life.
Well, that should be interesting. I can't wait to see what plays out, because Joey Janela is a psycho, and all of his matches have been entertaining.
As long as Penelope Ford's outside there in the ring, that's all I care about.
All eyes on Penelope's ass.
Yes, sir.
After this, we get Christopher Daniels versus Sammy Guava Juice. Of course, not familiar with Christopher Daniels. I know he was in TNA. He's a veteran already. I like how JR was trying to get CD over. Oh, good old CD is taking on Sammy G. He can't say anyone's full name for some reason. I guess it's his old age. But
yeah.
Andy with an eye was right about this match. He said there was way too much Sammy ass, to the point where even the crowd was chanting, "Sammy's wedgie." I don't know if you caught that. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, way too much Sammy. It should have been like a 2-minute match. Have him get over on Daniels and peace out. Let's move on.
Well, what they did was they had Christopher Daniels dominating most of this matchup to the point where he almost won. But Pentagon comes out and shouts from the entrance ramp, "Show me you can do it!" And that distracted Christopher Daniels. So Sammy hits a kick to the back of his head and wins pretty easily. After this, the infamous Dark Order come out as Evil Uno tries to convince Christopher Daniels to join. It looks like Christopher Daniels is going to put the mask on. He refuses, and then they beat the fuck out of him. During this, SCU and the Young Bucks come out to even the odds. I told Jake this earlier in the week. I believe AEW has bigger plans for the Dark Order than we know. They are just not letting this go. I know maybe most of the fan base hates this storyline, but my God, is AEW going to push this till it works?
Yeah, they're going to push it till the fans literally turn on them, or they start losing viewership during the time that they're on there. I mean, they were neat when they first debuted, but now the shine's kind of off them. I think the only thing that's going to get them over is if they can figure out who they're going to put in as like a new signee as the leader. Maybe that person will get them some shine. Maybe will help them take off. But it's getting really stale.
Well, after this, we get the Lucha Bros taking on the Cody and Dustin Rhodes. and I believe this is the first time they've ever faced each other 2-on-2. Very impressive how great Dustin is, even with his old age. He can still go, and they pick up the win here after a Cody cutter and a final reckoning, which used to be called the curtain call from Goldust. After this, Tony Schiavone comes into the ring and interviews, asking what Cody's response is to MJF. Arn Anderson takes the mic and says, "We'll give an answer later." What did you think of this matchup? And do you think Cody and Dustin will get a tag team title shot in the future?
I thought it was a good match. I mean, the Lucha Brothers are really good. Cody can go really good, and even with getting older, Dustin is still putting on good matches. I mean, I don't know how good he would be as like an individual match, but he is shining really well in tag team matches, especially with Cody. I wouldn't mind them being a tag team title match. I mean, I don't know. I think their next show is like Bash at the Beach or something like that. And I don't know. I can't remember if I think they're having like a 4-team tag team match or something like that. And I can't remember if they're one of the tag teams in it. But it was a really good match.
Well, after this, we get my favorite segment of the night. MJF comes out with Wardlow. They go to commercial. They come back. MJF is in the ring. He calls out Cody, wanting the answer, but he even gives him a 10 count, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Doesn't show up, calls Cody a bitch, but out comes DDP, which I guess he's working for free. I don't know if you heard that or not, because his DDP yoga is doing so well. I guess DDP's working for free. He comes out there, cuts a promo on MJF. MJF eventually sicks the Butcher and the Blade on him. He said, "You can either kiss my ring, or I can take one of those diamond daughters of yours. I can lay her down real nice in my bed. And then we're going to do one thing and one thing only." He hands the microphone to Wardlow. He does DDP's signature, bang! And then DDP grabs MJF by the neck, but the Butcher and the Blade attack. DDP drops both of them with diamond cutters. But in the end, MJF kicks DDP in the nards, getting the upper hand. QT Marshall and some refs come out to save DDP. Dustin Rhodes too, because DDP's an old fuck, and I'm pretty sure he couldn't take that gang beating by all of those young guys. Did you like this segment, and what was your favorite part?
I was really surprised that the Butcher and the Blade showed up. I thought it was kind of, they didn't have really any need to be in it unless that they're going to be somewhat aligned with MJF. And yeah, I heard that DDP was possibly working for him for free, and if he is, man, I sure would make sure I get paid for it, or that his DDP yoga somehow had a hand in a backstage with like the AEW or something like that for like rehab or something like that. But it was definitely a different kind of a promo than Brett.
Well, Brett has returned to us, and apparently he's in the middle of a tornado. What's going on, Brett?
Hey, I don't know what happened. I think I got disconnected. I finally figured it back out. So, yeah, Jake is calling me and luring me back. He has to whip out. That's all that wind is. It's really scary. I'm very scared. I don't know what to do. So I figured that before he shoves me back into the gift mask and pulls out the chains again, I would give an official proper goodbye and said thank you for the open invitation.
Well, Brett, I think he wants you to blow out his birthday candles, if you know what I mean.
Ooh. I'll see if I can find them first.
That being said, do you have a birthday message for your overlord Jake for his birthday today?
Well, Jake, I have to say nice things about you, or else I'll get the bad treatment, which is worse than the good treatment somehow. And I gotta say, I hope that you find out that Eric Rowan is our Lord and Savior on your birthday. So, Jake, have a happy birthday, and I'll see you in the basement.
What is that saying? He puts the lotion in the basket.
Oh my God.
Well, we're just in the middle of, we're on the tail end of talking about AEW. We're up to the Jurassic Express taking on the Best Friends. Of course, everybody's favorite Orange Cassidy making an appearance in this matchup. I like how JR called Marco the biggest little man in AWE. Of course, JR's dementia taking over again, making him not say AEW. It was an entertaining match. Marco and Orange Cassidy are entertaining, even though Marco's grotesque to look at. I love how Orange Cassidy hit his finisher, the Narco Splash, on Jungle Boy. Oh boy. I think everybody's gone now.
You still there?
Oh, you there, Adam? Okay. It said people were disconnected. I thought you left.
No, I'm still here.
Well, Orange Cassidy, like I said, he hit that Narco Splash on Jungle Boy. I love how he signaled for a 450 and just fell on him. Did you enjoy this match?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Orange Cassidy, and I think this was another match that just showed how much of a star that they have in him. And if they were to ever decide on if they could get like a mid-card title, he would definitely be a good guy to be like the first champion of that, because he's just so over with the fans.
You know, if they had the 24/7 title in AEW, Orange Cassidy would be 38-time, 24/7, 48/7 European hardcore champion.
Yes, he would be.
Well, Jungle Boy does get the pin for the win. After the match, we get the Inner Circle coming out. Who is it? What the hell? I can't even read my own writing. Sammy Guevara brought the signs during the commercial break. I love how he does that. Like, he knows that during the commercial there's no sound, but he brings those signs out. The signs basically says that the Jon Moxley decision is as big as who shot Mr. Burns. That was very entertaining. Jericho then introduces Jon Moxley to come out. Moxley, he runs through the crowd with a zipped up jacket, so you already knew something was up. Moxley says he cannot be bought, but I do want to associate myself with the Inner Circle. So my answer is yes. And so with the crowd in shock and the commentators kept saying, "Oh, this is unbelievable. I can't believe this. The crowd's in shock. What is up with Jon Moxley?" And Moxley just playing it up like he's one of the guys, like shouting at the crowd, telling them to shut up. And then Mox is in the ring with Jericho alone. Sammy G and the Big Hurt, Jake Hagar, are outside the ring. And Moxley gets the microphone and he goes, "I was just kidding. I don't want to join your group. You guys are terrible. And one more thing." And he smashes the bubbly in Jericho's face. Jericho playing it off like he got hit by a bus. Moxley then hits the dirty deeds onto Jericho, onto the broken glass. Jericho on the floor dazed. Mox then hits the dirty deeds to Sammy G as well. And my God, did Sammy sell that. He like flipped backwards after it. Jake Hagar ran in the ring to save things, but Jon Moxley took off. And they kept cutting to Moxley in the crowd dangling the keys to that expensive car. And then they smash cut to Jake Hagar holding Jericho, shouting, "Why? Why?" This was a very entertaining segment. And maybe this is why AEW killed NXT in the ratings, because of the entertaining storyline. But overall, what was your favorite part of this segment?
I was first when Moxley showed up with the jacket. I thought something was up, and then when he joined, I was actually shocked myself. But then as they started filing out, and it left Jericho and Moxley in the ring, it's like, okay, what we got here? And then when he turned on him, that was really good. I thought it was really well played out. Sammy selling that Paradigm was the best seller. Selling Stone Cold Stunner. And I don't remember if it was either AEW's Instagram thing or if it was like AEW on TNT. They had the clip of Hagar holding Jericho behind the song of like, "I just died in your arms tonight." That was freaking awesome. If you get a chance to like get on and look that up, that was awesome.
I gotta check that out. That sounds hella funny, man.
Oh, it was so good. And I agree. I think this is the reason why they won in ratings, because it's something different. Nobody really knew, because a lot of people are still trying to figure out Moxley's character and stuff like that. So you really didn't know if he was going to join or not, because you don't know which way he's going to go. Like, is he going to embrace full heel, go with them, or is he going to be kind of like that renegade, good guy, bad guy, tweener guy?
Yeah, it was a pretty entertaining show. I loved NXT for all the in-ring action, AEW for all the story and the entertainment. That kind of seems to be the broken record here on the Wednesday review show. But, I mean, we're the winners in the end. We're getting spoiled with all this entertainment, Raw, SmackDown, and plus we get a NXT UK pay-per-view tomorrow. We'll all be watching. I will see you in the chat room, my friend. I want to ask you, though, I'm going to do something else new for The Hangover. After each episode, I want us to put our heads together and come up with a hashtag for this episode. So, After Party Hangover, episode 22, hashtag what? We've had Brett come in. We've had Zanca come in. We've had technical issues. We found out that Mitch has a second porn scene, not necessarily gay, but he's stroking it in the shower. What should we hashtag this episode?
Hashtag open orgy.
Hell yeah, man. I'm down with that. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. After Party Hangover, episode 22, hashtag open orgy. Thank you very much, Adam. Thank you very much, Zanca. Thank you very much, Brett. Hopefully he doesn't join in on the last 2 seconds and find out we're done. But
hopefully he escapes Jake.
He's trying. I'm going to send him a file. Hopefully he can get out of that cage.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, everybody. Thank you for everyone who's listening. And as always, all hail Linda's Bush.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Hail Caesar.
So Mangria has asked me to personally tell Matthew JH138 what it is to be a mega pounder with cheese. I mean, bruh, it's all about the LBs, bruh. It's all about shakes and steaks, not weights. It's all about eating like Otis's IG. It's all about one time I went to New York and I had pizza for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yes, leftover pizza for the night before, cook that shit up. Go to a brewery, drink a bunch of beers, go to another one. Is a fucking DJ Khaled record. What do we do for lunch? Go to pizza at this begging-ass place. What we go to dinner? Wait in line for an hour to go to pizza at this begging-ass place. It's all about cheese and grease, grits and shrimp, man. It's all about food, and ain't working out till you gotta, because you got too much cheese in your fucking arteries, and then you gotta shake it. That's what a mega pounder with cheese is about. That's how we live. That's how we get down. Those are the requirements. Holla at your boy. You got a problem? Comments. You know the drill. Prison yard rules, bitch.
Once again, thank you to my guests for the first ever open invitational after party hangover. Thank you at StixAdam for being my co-pilot. Thank you to at Afterparty Zanca and at the Great Bretsky 99 for joining us. Go ahead and give them a follow on Instagram. To follow the Still Real After Party podcast on Instagram. Sorry about my voice. It's at Still Real to Us, at After Party Jake, at After Party Zanca. On Facebook, you go ahead and search for the Still Real After Party. Go ahead and hit that like button. And to cover up your nips with some Still Real merchandise, which by the way, today only is the 20% off anniversary sale on shop.spreadshirt.com/stillrealafterparty. I gotta go and get my shirt before that expires. Also, in 2 weeks, we will get another episode of the Still Real pregame, Andy with an Eyes podcast on the YouTube, the Still Real After Party YouTube. channel. That's where you can find the Hangover as well. Of course, you know this because you're listening to this. And as always, thank you everyone for listening. Thank you everyone for subscribing. There's 12 subscribers. I'm impressed. Thank you to all 12 of you. Happy birthday, Jake. And as always, I hate being sick, but that's life.